Hey, welcome to another video. Sorry, a little crazy tonight. Traveling this week for a crisis simulation exercise. So on the road, as you can see, from another hotel. But I just want to touch base on three things to do with planning your exercise before you get to even developing a scenario. Just three tips really, what you should be thinking about before you even get involved. The first one is objectives. What do you want to achieve in the exercise? That should be really your first conversation that you have with your team. If you want to conduct a tabletop exercise, what is our goal of the exercise? That's where we need to start with. We don't just need to start with saying we need to do a cyber exercise or we need to do active shooter. You know, what's the reason behind it? What are we testing? Are we testing the team? Are we testing the plan? Are we testing both roles, responsibilities? Are we testing decision making from leadership? What is it that we're looking to achieve? They don't have to be very detailed, but you at least have to have a good idea of why you want to do a tabletop exercise. So number two, based on your objectives and your general goal, what's the audience then? Okay, maybe fairly simple at that point. If it's cyber focused and you want to bring in the CERT team, the cyber emergency response team, or an IT function, if it's just that narrow in terms of your objectives, then fine. If it's a wider audience and it's a crisis team where you want to evaluate the communications as well as the operational response and everything else in between, human resources, legal, and other elements of your cross-functional team, then again, based off your objectives, consider the audience. And then at that point, inform the audience of your intention and then start to do some planning around dates well ahead of time so you can get on people's calendars. And then the final one, really, at that stage, you can start to think then about doing an overview of your scenario. 1 or 2 pages at the most, with just a general understanding of where you want to start and where you want to get to. So an unfolding situation would be the first paragraph or two, how bad it gets in the middle of the storyline, and then the recovery piece at the end, and how you wrap things up. So that would be, you know, the 3 elements of that final one there in terms of that overview document. You don't need to go too crazy at that stage because you're going to be building the scenario later on. So again, the 3 tips are your objectives, make sure they're clear, clearly defined, and also achievable. That's one thing I didn't touch on before. And then based on your objectives, number 2 is the audience. Make sure you got the right audience in the room based on your objectives. And then the third one then, as I mentioned, is creating that overview. So where are we going to start the unfolding situation through to the recovery piece? So I hope you enjoyed those tips. If you did, please share this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and look forward to providing you maybe next time with a shirt and tie some more top tips on crisis simulation exercises and all things crisis management. Thanks.